On our next inhale, let's bring our right palm over towards the right side of the mat. Place the left palm over it. On our next inhale, let's bring our left palm over towards the left side of the mat. Place the right palm over it. We can bring the palms back to center, press into the palms. Find that tabletop here. Wrists directly under the shoulders, knees directly under the hips. We're going to drop the belly button, gaze up at the ceiling. Inhale for cow. Exhale, round the spine, gaze between the feet for cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Take a few more of these at your own breath, your own pace. You can come back to that neutral spine here. Bend one elbow at a time. Bring the head and the hip closer together. We're going to find that neutral spine here. Tuck the toes, lift the tailbone high. Downward facing dog. We can pedal the heels out. Inch the heels closer to the mat. We're going to walk the feet up to meet the hands at the top of the mat. Slow rise up. Shoulders come back once we're in that complete stand here. Fix this computer. All right, beautiful. Once we're in this complete stand, we're going to find a goddess stance. So knees are on top of the ankles here. Option to grab the weights here. Find that pelvic tuck. We're going to pulse for 2 and side lunge. Pulse for 2. And side lunge. We'll do one side first. We'll take it here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's go ahead and give that a shake. We can stretch our legs here. Back into that goddess when you're ready. So bring the ankles directly under the knees. Find that wide stance here. Find that pelvic tuck. Weights come down, pulse for 2, and side lunge opposite direction here. Pulse for 2, side lunge. We're here for 8, 7, 6, getting nice and low here, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's go ahead and extend the legs here. Find the little leg stretch. Bend one knee. Some shoulder rolls here. Big inhale and exhale. We can go ahead and find that goddess. So knees are stacked on top of the ankles here. Pelvic tuck here, engaging that core. Shoulders relaxed. We're going to keep that pulse here. Option with or without weights. We'll take that cactus. Inhale, center. Exhale, open. Inhale, center. Exhale, open. Still pulsing here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, almost there, 2, and 1. Let's go ahead, shake that out, extend the legs here. We can add some side to side bends. Take a big inhale and exhale. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and take that goddess once more. Find that pelvic tuck, really engaging that core here. We're going to go ahead, bring the weights or the arms without the weights. Bicep curl around the world. Nice slow stance here, bicep curl around the world. We're here for 8, 7, 6, 5, get nice and low here, 4, just start to burn a little bit. We're gonna breathe through it, inhale, 3, exhale, 2, and 1, beautiful. Extend the legs here, take a breather, bend the knees, and we can come down onto our mat, place the weights by our side if you're using weights. Totally up to you if you want to or not. All right, my friends, let's go ahead. We're gonna find a glute bridge hold here. So first one here, just wanna make sure you guys can see me. All right, with the weights, we're gonna extend the weights overhead, find that pelvic tuck. So let's glue the lower back down onto the mat, ankles directly under the knees. Inhale, lift the hips, bring the weights by our side. Exhale, extend. Inhale, lift, lower the weights. Exhale, extend, try to glue the lower back down onto the mat, breathing as we inhale. Exhale, lower. Breathe as we lift. Exhale as we lower. We're here for 8. You can do this with or without weights, totally up to you. Let's squeeze the glutes on the way up. 7, 6, 5. Can we lift the hips a little higher? 4, try to get that lower back down onto the mat completely on the way down. 3, 2, and 1. Keep the hips lifted here. Bend the knees, restack the ankles directly under the knees. Bring the weights overhead or bring the arms overhead, palms face each other. Let's go ahead, chest fly, open up the knees, open up the arms here. Exhale, center. Inhale, expand. Exhale, center. We're here for 8. Squeeze the glutes. Lift the hips a little higher. 6, 5, 4, 3. Let's lift the hips a little higher. Squeeze the glutes. 2, and 1. Let's place the weights by our side. Let's lower the hips here. Bring the knees into the chest. Side to side sways. Big inhale. And exhale. Beautiful job, friends. Let's go ahead and completely come down onto the mat. We're going to extend the legs here. Extend the arms. We're going to take a hollow crunch. So we're going to bring our left elbow to the right knee. Knee to elbow. Exhale, extend. Inhale, knee to elbow. Exhale, extend. Option to stay here. Keep that movement here. Or we can come up into a full lift, knee to elbow. Exhale, lower, extend. Take the time here. Take your time. We're going to breathe through it. Inhale, knee to elbow. Exhale, extend. We're here for 8, 7, totally up to you if you want to take that full lift. 6, 5, almost there, my friends. 4, you can do this with a weight too if you want a spicy option. 3, 2, and 1. Let that go. Extend here. Let's glue that lower back down onto the mat here. Right arm extends overhead. Inhale, knee to elbow, left knee this time. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. We're here for 8. You can come up to that full lift if you'd like. 7, 6, 6, slow on the way down. Here, really engage in that core. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Full body extension here. Big stretch. Take a few ankle circles. Big inhale. Exhale. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and find that glute bridge one more time, friends. We're going to bend the knees, stack the ankles directly under the knees here. You can grab your weights if you'd like, totally optional. Bring the arms overhead. Let's glue that lower back down onto the mat. Inhale, lift the hips, squeeze the glutes, engage the core, lower the arms by our side or the weights by our side. Exhale, lower the hips, arms overhead. Inhale, lift, one swift movement here. Exhale, extend. We're going to be here for 8. Really squeeze the glutes here. 7, 6, 5, try to glue that lower back down onto the mat. Take your time here. 4, lift the hips a little higher here. 3, 2, and 1. Let's keep the hips lifted here. Bring the arms overhead. Stack the ankles directly under the knees. Let's go ahead and open up the arms, chest fly. Bring the knees open here. Exhale, center. Squeeze the glutes, lift the hips higher. Really engage in the core, engage in the glutes. 8, 7, 6, 5, almost there. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's place the weights by our side. Lower the hips down onto the mat. Bring the knees into the chest. Side to side sways. Big inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and extend those legs. We're back to that hollow crunch. Glue the lower back down onto the mat. Extend our left arm. Inhale, knee to elbow, right knee. Exhale, extend. You can come up to that full lift here if you'd like. Knee to elbow, exhale, extend. Totally up to you. You can place a weight in the left hand. Up to you. We're here for 6 more. 6, 5, full body extension here. We're lowering down onto the mat as slow as we can. 4, 3, almost there, my friends. 2, and 1. Extend here. We're going to extend our right arm this time overhead. We're going to bend our left knee. Inhale, knee to elbow. Exhale, extend. Inhale, lift knee to elbow. Exhale, extend. If you'd like to come up to that full lift, welcome to do that. Try to glue the lower back down onto the mat here as much as you can. Really engage in that core. 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Full body extension here, arms overhead. Take a few wrist circles, a few ankle circles. Big inhale and exhale. Beautiful, friends. Let's go ahead and find that table. We're starting our table series here. So thighs together, toes are pointed, arms are by our side. Let's go ahead and lift the arms and lower the arms here, pulsing. We're We're gonna engage the core here, focus on the breath, stack the knees on top of the hips. Breathing as we pulse. We're here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Right into those crunches, fingertips to temples. Let's go ahead and lower the head here. Big inhale, lift into a crunch. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. We're here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, almost there, friends. Breathing through it. 3, inhale. 2, and 1. Let's hug the knees into the chest, side to side sways. Let's massage that lower back. Deep inhale and exhale. Beautiful, friends. Let's go ahead and find that table once you're ready. Arms are by our side. They're not going to be underneath the lower back. They're by our side. We're going to extend our right leg, point the right toes, and big circles here. You guys know I love these ones. Big circles in the sky. And we're here for 8. Nice big circles here. 7. Take your time. You don't want to rush through it. 8. Oh, just kidding. I don't know how to count. 6. 5. 4. Almost there, friends. 3. 2. And 1. That same leg switches direction here. We're here for 8. 7. Almost there, friends. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Hug the knees here, side to side sways. Take a big inhale and exhale. Find that table once you're ready. Thighs together, toes pointed, knees are stacked. Extend our left leg, point those toes, and big circles here. One side might be easier than the other side, and that's okay. We're here for 8. Nice big circles, my friends, in the sky. Focus on the shape of the circle. 6 more. 6, 5. Take your time here. Focus on the breath. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Switch directions here. Same leg. We're here for 8, 7, 6. Nice big circles. 5, 4, 3. Almost there. 2. And 1. Let's hug the knees into the chest, side to side sways. Big inhale and exhale. Beautiful, friends. Our next one here, we're going to bring that, we're finding that table here. Bring the thighs together. Knees are stacked, toes are pointed. We're going to extend the arms overhead. Totally up to you. If you want to use weights, you can use the weights in hand here for a weighted dead bug. Opposite arm comes overhead. And we're going to bend the opposite leg. Bend here, extend. We're going to inhale, extend. Exhale, bend. We're here for 8. Nice long extensions. Bring that leg all the way down onto the mat as much as you can. 7, 6, 5. We are almost side sways. Take a few ankle circles. Take that deep inhale. And exhale. All right, my friends, we got one more round here in table. So let's go ahead and find that table. Repeat as we go here. Inhale, lift the arms by our side. Pulse the arms here. Lift the torso. Engage the core here. We're here for 8, 7, 6. Really focusing on that breath. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go ahead and take those fingertips to temples here. Lower the head down onto the mat. Inhale, crunch. Exhale, lower. Inhale, crunch. Exhale, lower. We're here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, almost there, friends. 2, and 1. Let's hug the knees into the chest. Side to side sways. Take that deep inhale. And exhale. You can take a few ankle circles here. We're pointing the feet a lot. All right, my friends, back into that table. Back to those circles. Extend that right leg. Point the toes here. Wonderful job, friends. Big circles here. We're here for 8, 7. Take your time. 6, 5, 4, almost there, friends. 3, 2, and 1. Let's go ahead and switch directions, same leg. I know, we're almost there. 8, 7, 6, 5, nice big circles here. 4, breathing through it. 3, 2, and 1. Hug the knees into the chest here. Take that deep breath, big inhale. And exhale, side to side sways. Take what you need. Any point you need more of a break, take that break. We're back into that table once you're ready. Thighs together, knees stacked, toes pointed. Extend our left leg, point those toes, big circles here. And we're here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, almost there, and 1. Switch directions here, same leg, we're here for 8. Almost done with circles. 7, 6, 5, 4, almost there, friends. 3, 2, and 1. Hug the knees into the chest, side to side sways. Take a few ankle circles here. Take that big inhale. And exhale here. We can go ahead and find that table. Last one here in table, I promise, friends. Extend the arms overhead here. You can place the weights in hand if you'd like. Weighted dead bug, totally up to you. Opposite arm extends, opposite leg extends, and bend. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bend. We're here for 8. Really breathing through this. Inhale, exhale. 7, 6, 5, almost there, friends. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hug those knees into the chest, side to side sways. A few ankle circles here. Big inhale and exhale. All right, my friends, we're gonna go ahead and meet in that tabletop when you're ready. Actually, I'm gonna face this way. You can place the weights by your side. If you're using weights, you do not have to use weights at all. All right, friends, first we're gonna go ahead and do a little bit more core here. So let's go ahead, find from tabletop, we're gonna lower down onto the forearms. And we're gonna find that plank here. So body forms a straight line, tailbone is tucked, really engaging that core here. Elbows directly under the shoulders. We want proper form here. Maybe you stay here, or maybe you find that shift forward, shift back, shift forward, shift back. And we're gonna be here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's go ahead and lower the hips here. We can take a cobra, so bring the palms by the ribs. Inhale, lift the torso, take that nice little breather. Take a few neck circles. Let's take a big inhale. And exhale, lower down all the way onto the mat. Next one here, we're gonna find a placement here, right palm, right knee. Right knee is gonna support us in balance. Option to use the weight, totally up to you. Grab the weight with the left hand, extend the left arm, left leg. Inhale, crunch knee to elbow. Exhale, extend. Inhale, knee to elbow. Exhale, extend. We're here for 8, 7, really targeting that left oblique here is working. 6, 5, at any point you want to drop that weight, you can do that. 2, 4, you can do this without weights. 3, 2, almost there, my friends. And 1, all right, let's find that tabletop. Place that weight by our side. Tabletop here, let's find some side to side bends. 1 elbow bends at a time. Big inhale. And exhale, you can take some cat-cows if you'd like. All right, friends, when you're ready, let's go ahead and find that left knee, left forearm. We're gonna do each side evenly. You can place the weight in the right hand this time. All right, friends, let's go ahead. Inhale, crunch knee to elbow. Exhale, extend. You can do this with or without weights, totally up to you. Extend. We're here for 8, 7. So it's really tricky with balance and stuff here, but we can do it. We're breathing through it. 5 more, almost there. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop that weight here, find that tabletop, and side to side bends. You have to take a few cat-cows. Take that deep breath, inhale, and exhale here, take a few neck circles. All right, my friends, this next one here, option to also use the weights. We're still on this tabletop. Place the weights by our side. Place the weight in the right hand. Without the weights here, you're gonna extend your right arm out in front. Extend our left leg out behind. Inhale, yep, you guessed it, knee to elbow. Exhale, extend. Inhale, knee to elbow. Exhale, extend. Really engaging the core here. Glutes are also working here. We're here for 7 more. 7, 6, 5, almost there, friends. 4, 3, 2, right, let's drop that weight. Drop the right hand here. You can take a brief child's pose. Knees apart, toes together. We're on the wrist quite a bit today. So take what you need. Forehead meets the mat. Really extend the arms overhead. Take a deep breath. And exhale. You can close the eyes here. Let's center ourselves for just one moment. All right, friends, when you're ready, press into the palms, lift the forehead gently off the mat, lift the torso, find that tabletop, wrists directly under the shoulders, knees directly under the hips. We're gonna grab the weight in the left hand this time, extend our left arm, extend our right leg, inhale, crunch knee to elbow, exhale, extend, inhale, knee to elbow, exhale, extend. We're here for 8, 7, almost there, my friends. 6, 5, almost there, we got this. 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, place that weight by your side, tabletop, knees apart, toes together, brief child's pose here. Forehead meets that mat, extend the arms overhead, big inhale, and exhale. All right, my friends, we got one more round. Let's go ahead, press into the palms here, lift the forehead off of the mat. Find that tabletop once you're ready. We're doing a little bit more core here, same round, and then we're gonna do a glute finisher. From here, you're gonna come down onto the forearms, find that plank position from earlier. Body forms a straight line, elbows directly under the shoulders. Tuck that tailbone into the belly button. Option to stay here, or we can start to shift forward, shift back, shift forward, shift back. We're here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop the hips here. We're gonna place the palms by our ribs. Inhale, lift into a little mini cobra. Take a few head circles. You can shake the head no. Take a breath. Big inhale. And exhale. All right, my friends, knee to elbow time. Let's go ahead and come up onto the right palm, right knee. Option to stay here, or we can go ahead and grab the weight in the left hand, extend our left leg. Inhale, crunch, knee to elbow. Exhale, extend. Inhale, knee to elbow. Exhale, extend, really elongating the leg, elongating the arm. We're here for 7 more. Give me 7, 6, 5, almost there, friends. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop that weight, come back into that tabletop, side to side bends. Take a few cat-cows. You can take some wrist circles too. I know we're on the wrist a lot today. My apologies for that. You can come down onto the forearms at any point too. All right, friends, when you're ready, let's go ahead and grab the weight. We're gonna find the left palm, left knee, weight in the right hand. Option to do this without the weights. Inhale, knee to elbow. Exhale, extend. Inhale, knee to elbow. Exhale, extend. We're here for 8, 7, 6, 5, almost there, friends. 4, that right weight here, right palm comes down onto the mat. Find that tabletop. Side to side bends, bend one elbow. Bring the head and the hip closer together here. Take a deep breath. Big inhale. And exhale. You can take a few cat-cows here. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. All right, my friends, we're going to do that knee to elbow here. We're going to do it in our tabletop. I'll face this way. All right, let's go ahead and grab the weight in the right hand. Extend our right arm. Extend the left leg. Inhale, knee to elbow. Exhale, extend. Inhale, knee to elbow. Exhale, extend. We have last round of this. Almost here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's go ahead, lower that weight. Right palm, take a brief child's, knees apart, toes together, forehead meets the mat here. Take a deep breath, big inhale. And exhale. All right, my friends, let's go ahead and press into the palms. We are almost there. Lift the forehead, lift the torso here. Find that tabletop. We're going to extend our left arm, left hand has the weight. Extend our right leg. Inhale, knee to elbow. Exhale, extend. Inhale, knee to elbow. Exhale, extend. We're here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, core is working here, glutes are also working. 3, squeeze the glutes together as we extend. 2, and 1. All right, friends, let's drop that weight here. Take that child's pose, knees apart, toes together. Send the hips back, arms come overhead here. Forehead meets the mat. Deep inhale. And exhale. We've got one more glute finisher, and then we're home free. Take a moment here. Enjoy this child's pose. All right, friends, press into the palms when you're ready. I promise we're almost there. Let's lift the forehead, lift the torso. Yes, we can. Let's find that tabletop here. From here, come down onto the forearms. This is all on the forearms. This time we're going to extend our right leg, point the toes, big circles here. Really squeezing the glutes, engaging the core and the glutes. We're here for 8, nice big circles. 7, our nice last glute finisher here. We're almost there. Give me 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Switch directions. Oh yes, we're almost there. 8. Same leg here. 7. Nice big circles. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Right into those rainbows. Let's tap the toes over to the left. Nice big rainbow over to the right, over to the left, over to the right. We're here for 8. You guys know I love these. 7, 6, really feeling it in the glutes, lifting the leg a little higher. 5, more, we are almost there. 3, 2, and 1. Drop that right knee, child. We got one more side. We can do this. Forehead meets the mat. Nice big inhale. And exhale. Let's press into the palms. Lift the forehead, lift the torso here. Find that tabletop. From here, come down onto the forearms. We are going to extend our left leg this time. Point the toes and nice big circles with the left leg. We're here for 8 nice big circles. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Same leg, switch directions here for 8. Almost there, friends. 7, nice big circle. 6, really squeeze the glutes. 5, 4, 3, 2. On that 1, we're going right into rainbows. And 1, tap the toes over to the right. Big rainbow over towards the left. Over to the right. Over to the left. We're here for 8, 7, 6. Try to keep the hips square to the mat as much as you can. This movement's coming from the glutes, from the leg muscles here. 5, give me 5 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop that left knee. Take that child's knees apart, toes together. Send the hips back, arms overhead. Forehead meets the mat. Big inhale and exhale. Let's bring our right palm over towards the right side of the mat. Place the left palm over it. On our next inhale, let's bring our left palm over towards the left side of the mat. Place the right palm over it. We can bring the palms back to center, press into the palms. Find that tabletop here. Inhale, cow, drop the belly button, gaze up at the ceiling. Exhale, cat, round the spine, gaze between the feet. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Take a few more of these at your own breath, your own pace. We can take some side to side bends. Bend one elbow at a time. Bring the head and the hip closer together. All right, my friends, come back into that neutral spine here. Last stretch. Let's bring our right palm high. Right arm extends overhead. And thread the needle under the left arm. Side of the face and shoulder can rest onto the mat. Left palm meets the lower back. On our next inhale, let's lower our left palm, press into the palm, lift the right shoulder, lift the right arm high here, reset tabletop. Inhale, left arm comes up high, exhale, thread the needle, under the right arm, side of the face and shoulder can rest onto the mat. Option to stay here, we can circle the right hand, rest it onto the lower back. All right, my friends, let's lower our right palm back down, press into the palm, lift the left shoulder, lift the left arm high, reset tabletop. Let's find a seated position. We can bring the bottoms of the feet together, take a butterfly here. This one's gonna feel really good after glutes. And option to stay here, we can gently press down onto the knees. All right, friends, let's go ahead and cross our legs, straighten the spine, add a twist here. One hand meets the knee, back hand the floor of the mat. Gaze towards the back of the room. On our next inhale, sweep through center, switch sides. Let's bring the palms back to center. Take a deep breath, big inhale. And exhale.